You know what this is, don't you, Dustox?
Hi, my name's Professor Silver, and in today's class, we'll be breaking down the complete history of Jessie's Dustox, detailing all her battles, storylines, and character development. Jessie caught Dustox as a Wurmple in All in a Day's Wurmple. The bug type quickly became one of her most beloved companions. Jessie's love for Wurmple influenced her to commission a mech in Wurmple's honor and refuse to battle I'm Gonna Rule the School, dole out endless cuddles on a Wingull and a prayer, and argue Wurmple's superiority to May's in which Wurmple's which. The two were identical in appearance, so their trainers tried to settle their debate through a chaotic battle. While fleeing from the calamity, Jessie mistakenly swapped May's Wurmple for her own. Since Jessie's love for her Wurmple blinded her to May's lack of affection, it wasn't until Jessie met up with May that she realized her mistake and reunited with her darling. In a Courtfish Out of Water, Jessie and May's fight led to their Wurmple to evolve into Cascoon and Silcoon. Wurmple's evolution delighted Jessie, but her ignorance of its potential for branch evolution led her to think it was the Silcoon who would one day evolve into Beautifly. Even though James and Meowth immediately noticed the difference and occasionally tried to inform Jessie of her mistake, they never pushed too fervently as they feared the truth would ignite her fury. Unlike with Wurmple, Jessie had no issue using Cascoon in her many schemes. During Cascoon's first mission in a 3-team scheme, she tied up a Nincada, snuggled Jessie, and spun a heap of thread. After Cascoon recovered with a relaxing massage, she battled May's Silcoon in Seeing is Believing. Unfortunately for Jessie, Silcoon evolved during the battle and blasted off the trio with the help of Courtfish. Jessie refused to be outshone by May, so she made Cascoon's evolution into Beautifly her top priority. Once Cascoon finished up some special training with Meowth and Cacnea, she rematched Beautifly, traded a bevy of tackles, and evolved while being hit by Gust. James and Meowth's shielding of the truth and Dustox's unexpected face hug took Jessie for a loop, but she couldn't have been happier with Dustox's beautiful appearance.
It's way cuter than that twerp's Beautifly.
Upon resuming the battle, Dustox exchanged tackles with Beautifly, launched an unsuccessful Poison Sting, teamed with Cacnea to devastate Treecko, missed Poison Sting, fell into Jessie, and got blasted off by Courtfish. Despite the loss, Dustox's performance thrilled Jessie, filled her with pride, and made her all the more excited to compete in contests. Beautifly overpowered Dustox a second time and I Feel Skitty, so Jessie and Dustox trained diligently so they could get their revenge at the Fallarbor contest, which took place and come what may. Jessie wanted a triumph at all costs, so she equipped Dustox with a rainbow-generating bow tie, hoping the device would give her the edge she needed to win the contest. During the appeals round, Dustox generated colorful rainbows, flew around the arena, painted a portrait of herself, took Jessie for a Whirlwind ride, and earned the highest score of any other Pokemon. In the battle round, Dustox rematched Beautifly in the much-anticipated Battle of Rivals. After missing her first attack, Dustox redirected String Shot, took major damage from her own Poison Sting, and let loose a Rainbow Tackle. Much to Jessie's dismay, Beautifly intercepted with Silverwind, broke the Rainbow Generator, won with Tackle, and eliminated Jessie from the contest. It disappointed Jessie to lose, but she and Dustox refused to give up on their passion for coordinating. At the Verdant Turf contest in Disguised a Limit, Dustox breezed through the appeals with Poison Sting, Whirlwind, and Psybeam, but proved no match for Timmy's Dusclops. In retaliation to Whirlwind, Dustox fired off Shadow Punch, tanked Psybeam, matched another Psybeam with Psychic, and won by points. Dustox never battled Beautifly in another contest, but the two rivals faced off against one another at the Crossgate Pokeringer in That's Just Swellow. Thanks to James's ingenuity, Dustox grabbed the ring required to score points, rode Beautifly's Gust to victory, advanced through several more rounds, and competed against Shane Swablu in the semifinals. After using the Sun and a helpful tackle to win the round, Dustox fought Ash's Taillow in the finals. Starting strong, Dustox opened with Psybeam, tanked Wing Attack, and dodged the Flash Tornado. While Dustox waited for the weather to subside, Taillow dove into the tornado, evolved into Swellow, and unleashed a spinning Wing Attack. Swellow then retrieved the ring, fended off Dustox's advances, and won Ash the competition. Besides Dustox's participation at the Pokeringer and various Hoenn contests, she also regularly joined Seviper and Cacnea in the trio's many schemes. Almost all of Dustox's battles ended in defeat at the hands of Pikachu and the gang's other Pokemon, but she always tried her hardest to make Jessie proud. In some of her more notable Hoenn and Battle Frontier appearances, Dustox chaotically battled Skitty and Courtfish, nearly toasted a little girl, deflected Kabuskin's Fire Spin, pelted Ash with Poison Sting, frequently clashed with Sceptile, and faced off against a giant Butterfree in Caterpie's Big Dilemma. Mystery Candy caused Dustox and Butterfree to balloon to Mothra-like proportions, but Butterfree won out by withstanding Poison Sting, firing off Supersonic, and maintaining its giant form for more time. Dustox's battling record did little to improve upon reaching Sinnoh. After losing to a Marowak at the Power Zone Gym in Gym Belier, Dustox nearly claimed victory over Starly and Bonsly in a Staravia is Born, but fell to Bonsly's Mimic. Though rarely successful in battle, Dustox provided immense utility support. When not dancing up a storm, she laid down cover with Poison Sting, terrorized the twerps, sent Ash flying into rivers, and served as Jessie's ace in the Sinnoh festival circuit. At the Floaroma contest and settling a not-so-old score, Dustox battled against Dawn's Piplup. To Jessie's chagrin, Piplup flipped through Whirlwind, danced away from Psybeam, narrowly withstood Poison Sting, activated Bind, and won with Peck. As training for her next contest, Jessie used Dustox and Seviper opposite Zoe's Glameow and Shellos in a stand-up sit-down. Jessie's team opened with a dazzling combination of Poison Sting and Poison Tail, but Zoe's squad outdid them using Iron Tail and Mudshot. Dustox fired back with Psybeam, but she and Seviper lost anyway to a Blizzard-powered Shadow Claw. Jessie was so displeased by the duo's performance that she broke their hearts in Dawn's early night by proclaiming that Mime Jr. would replace them at the performance round of the Heart Home contest. Once Mime Jr. passed the appeals, Dustox and Seviper further let Jessie down by falling to Nando's Kricketune and Roselia. Despite letting Jessie down for several battles in a row, Dustox came back more determined than ever before in Team Shocker when Jessie entered the Solaceon contest. Working in perfect harmony with Jessie, Dustox floated her into the air, terrified the crowd with a risky Psybeam, finished with a bang, and cried tears of joy upon realizing how much the crowd loved her performance. Opposite Kenny's Prinplup in the finals, Dustox dodged Drill Peck, unleashed Psybeam, fired off Whirlwind, countered Bubble, won by points, and earned Jessie her very first ribbon. Dustox's victory elated Jessie, gave her hope for the future, and inspired her to try as hard as she could to win the Grand Festival. While training for their next contest and crossing paths, Dustox upended Jessie's plans by falling in love with the shiny Dustox. Much to Jessie's surprise, the shiny's owner Austin heavily resembled Aston, her schoolgirl crush. Austin thought the two Dustox would make for a lovely duo at the Dustox Crossing, an annual event where Dustox pair up over a lake, enter a romantic trance, form a golden archway, fly over Mount Coronet, and start a family. Even though the thought of losing Dustox saddened Jessie, she gave Dustox her blessing to pursue the shiny as she couldn't imagine her love-struck friend living a life of regret like her own. As thanks for Jessie's compassion and lifelong friendship, Dustox saved her from a blast of lightning. Because the blast damaged the lake's perimeter, drained the lake's water, and threatened the crossing's integrity, Team Rocket plugged the leak with the help of Ash, Dawn, and Brock's Pokemon. Once their friends completed the dam, Dustox and the shiny combined Confusion and Whirlwind to refill the lake and restore its golden hue. Dustox started the crossing that same night, but got cold feet at the last second as she adored Jessie and couldn't imagine life without her best friend. Rather than embrace Dustox warmly, Jessie pushed the bug aside, thought back to the heartache she felt as a girl, and smashed Dustox's Pokeball so she would have no other choice but to pursue a new life. Left with no other choice, Dustox pursued a new life with her bow. Following Jessie's final command to follow her heart, Dustox tearfully bid farewell, joined the Golden Archway, and flew off to the Dustox flower fields. Jessie knew she might never see Dustox again, but she held strong, knowing that the memories they shared and friendship they forged would last a lifetime. Out of respect for her old friend, Jessie dedicated her Wallace Cup performance to Dustox's memory in Our Cup Runneth Over. Dustox is yet to return to the series or rejoin Jessie, but I imagine she lives a busy life caring for her shiny husband and doting on her Wurmple children. And now for the battle record. Dustox won against Meowth, James's Cacnea, Ash's Treecko, and Kenny's Prinplup. She lost or got blasted off by pretty much everyone else. Over the course of the series, Dustox used String Shot, Tackle, Harden, Poison Sting, Psybeam, Whirlwind, Stun Spore, and Gust. Dustox was a perfect addition to Jessie's team. She added diversity to Team Rocket's arsenal, provided a fun rivalry with Beautifly, put the wheels in motion for Jessie's debut at the Sinnoh Grand Festival, and helped showcase Jessie's tender side. The writer's decision to give Jessie her own version of Bye Butterfree was a brilliant move, as it reminded viewers that while Jessie may appear shrill, she's actually a deeply vulnerable character who cherishes most of her Pokemon with all her heart. And with that, class is adjourned. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you're never late, and for extra credit, like this video and let me know your thoughts on Jessie's Dustox. Until next time, catch you later.